Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Season of Discovery Hunter video. So yet again, hunters have seen some class changes, and this time around we've received a few small buffs, as well as some nerfs, and unfortunately at the end of the day, this results in an overall small nerf for us as a class. Well, this does suck, and is unfortunate since we've been the target of more nerfs than pretty much any other class so far in Season of Discovery. By no means has it crippled us or made us so bad that we can't remain competitive in dungeons and raids. It's been a few days now, and we've had some time to get some results and play around with the changes, so we will be going over that in this video. And the other things we'll be covering in this video is exactly what has changed, talent builds and runes to use now, the current pet situation, and reasons why you choose one talent build over another. We won't be going crazy deep into the math as the values will slightly change player to player, but the overall point remains the same. So starting off with a list of changes, we see a 15% increase in Chimera shot weapon damage from 85% to 100%. This buff was definitely needed to make it more viable again and bring it more in line with other rune options like Beast Mastery. Next, we have explosive shot base damage increased by 25% before attack power modifiers. The important thing to note with this change is that it's only base damage, which in the grand scheme of things equates to a very small DPS boost, making this rune still a poor choice overall. But it can see some use on trash mobs if you do very large pulls in Black Fathom Deeps and are given time to constantly change your runes before and after each boss. Next, we have the 50% reduction in mana cost to Chimera Shot, Explosive Shot, Carve, Kill Command, and Flanking Strike. This is quite a nice change for us hunters as mana could be a real issue in most cases, especially if your boss kill times were on the slower side of things, and made even worse if you melee weaved. Now, the next two nerfs are the big ones in this recent update. Pet health and pet damage being reduced to 20% down from 30%, and focus regeneration being reduced to 50% down from 80%. Ultimately, this is a change that probably should have been separated from PvE and only been implemented for PvP, but as we all know, that's most likely not something Blizzard seems interested in implementing for Classic WoW, so we're just going to have to deal with it. Now, with that said, we need to dive a little deeper into these numbers and changes. The pet damage change from 130% down to 120% truly isn't a 10% nerf. It's roughly a 7 to 8% nerf in most cases, which will of course be affected by kill times, misses, crit RNG, etc. In my case, comparing two logs from before and after the nerf with comparable kill times and using the cat in both runs, I saw a 7.95% difference on Baron Aquinas, 8.61% on Twilight Lord Kelris, and only a 1.15% difference on Akumai, as my pet missed quite a few more auto attacks and claws on Akumai before the nerf. And when it comes to Wind Serpents, I personally don't use one, and I never have, so I don't have personal examples, but they take a slight nerf as well, that again will be impacted by fight length, which is different for everybody, so there's no point going super in depth with the math and using an arbitrary number, but in most cases, you're only going to lose a few Lightning Breath casts, meaning Wind Serpents are still a viable choice for Phase 1 in Black Fathom Deeps. Alright, let's take a look over one of my Twilight Keeper Kelris logs from just before the nerf and do some basic math. Assuming we take my pet damage values and factor in the 10% pet damage nerf and the 30% pet focus regeneration nerf in my own personal situation, I would have a theoretical overall DPS loss of 7.57. If you wanted to get a fully accurate picture of the nerf, you would need to factor in many more variables, such as calculating the difference in base focus regen versus the new focus regen, which would then give you your new rate of how many times Claw is cast. Then you factor in that you're starting the engagement with 100% pet focus, which in turn would mean that fight length will slightly adjust how much this nerf specifically is for you. But for simplicity's sake, for most people you're going to see anywhere from a 7 to about an 8.5% overall DPS loss with the newest nerf if you continue to use the Beast Mastery rune. Now that we've covered all the changes and how much the nerf is actually going to impact you, let's look over the talent builds and runes and discuss why you'd use one setup over another. The first option is to continue using the 1600 build with Beast Mastery, Flanking Strike, and Aspect of the Line, which was previously the best option to run overall. Your second option is the same 1600 talent build and just replace Beast Mastery rune with Chimera Shot. And your third option is the 5110 marksmanship talent build with Chimera Shot, Flanking Strike, and Aspect of the Line. With this build, you can also opt for sniper training instead of flanking strike if you don't melee weave. So which talent build do you pick, or what's the best? Well, all three talent builds are pretty competitive now with the recent changes to the Beast Mastery rune and Chimera Shot rune, with your crit RNG, miss RNG, and your kill times being a bigger factor more than anything. The 5.11.0 marksmanship build is ever so slightly more gear reliant, but at the end of the day, you can pick any of the three talent builds and you'll do perfectly fine. As for your pet, you can continue to use whichever you have used up until this point, as kill times are quick enough for the vast majority of people that it really won't make a noticeable difference between a cat or a wind serpent. And that concludes everything you need to know for the recent hunter changes. I hope you found this video helpful, and just know that you can still remain competitive regardless of how many class changes Blizzard decides to throw at us. And as always, remember to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. I will be releasing a hunter-specific UI, add-on, and WeCore video soon, as it's been a very popular request lately. Also, feel free to leave a comment down below. I enjoy engaging with all of you, and I try to respond to every comment on my videos. And as always, you can find my Discord and my Twitch linked in the video description below, so feel free to join those as well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.